Scroll through Instagram for 5 minutes and you'll see it everywhere. The same compositions, the same filters, the same sunset poses. And if you're like most photographers, you've probably tried to recreate a few of them yourself. I know I did. But here's the problem with that approach. When you spend your time copying what's popular, you're not developing your own photographic voice. You're following someone else's roadmap. And the frustrating thing is, even when you nail the technique, something feels off. The photo works technically, but it doesn't feel like yours. This is one of my early shots. Eye-catching colours, tobacco filter on the sky. It got likes on Instagram, but it's completely unnatural. I was chasing what looked popular. Or this one, it's a nice sunset over Morecambe Bay. Technically fine, but could be anybody's photo. Same with this. This is the Venus and Cupid statue here in Morecambe, shot in the way that every tourist shoots it. Most photographers think finding their voice means discovering some hidden artistic talent, but that's not how it works. Your photographic voice isn't something you find, it's something you already have and can develop. You just need to recognize it. Same locations, similar light, but these feel different because I'd stopped copying and started paying attention to what actually drew me in. So here's what I mean by that. Think about the last time you were scrolling through photos online. Could be Instagram, could be a photography website. But what made you stop? What made you look at an image for more than 2 seconds? It wasn't because somebody told you it was good. It was because something in that image connected with you. Maybe it was the light, maybe it was a moment, maybe it was the mood. Whatever it was, you recognized that something and it resonated. That's your photographic voice trying to tell you something. The photos you pause at, they're showing what you value. And if you start paying attention to this, you'll stop chasing Instagram trends and start creating work that actually means something to you. So here's an exercise I learned from a photojournalist named Stuart Friedman. He calls it the cognitive camera. For the next week, I want you to imagine you have a camera inside your head. Your eyes are the shutter. And as you go about the day, walking to the shops, sitting in a cafe, whatever you're doing, look for a moment or scenes that make it click. Don't overthink it and don't judge it. Just mentally click whenever something catches your attention. You might click for a human gesture. Tourists photographing something you can't see. What caught their attention? Or the way the light frames a moment. A lit cafe contrasting with the dark alley behind. Or something that makes you smile. Someone checking their phone next to a sheep statue. Layers and reflections creating depth in an ordinary cafe scene. Or dramatic action. People getting caught by a wave during a storm. Or just the way somebody's improvised plastic coat catches the wind on a blustery day. Doesn't matter what it is. What matters is what you're training your eye to notice, what you're naturally drawn to. Do this for a week and you'll start to see patterns. Maybe you're always clicking on dramatic light, or quiet moments, or human gestures, or unexpected humour. That's your voice. That's what you value in photography. And once you know that, you can start deliberately looking for those elements when you have your camera. That's the difference between wandering around hoping something appears and shooting with intention. Now, once you know what you're drawn to, the next step is learning how to capture it with impact. And that's where the light comes in. Light is what transforms a moment you notice into a photo that stops people scrolling. I've put together a free ebook called How to See Light Like a Pro. It covers light direction, working in harsh light, and low light situations. Everything you need to capture what your cognitive camera is seeing. There's a link in the description below. Once you've done the cognitive camera exercise for a week or so, you'll start to notice what you're constantly drawn to. Now here's where it gets practical. When I look back at my work, I realise something. I'm constantly drawn to shooting towards the light, not just being lit by it. See how the sun's coming straight to the camera here? That's what makes me pause. Or this one, I was attracted to where the sun breaks through the clouds, creating those pockets of contrast. Not the sunset itself, but the drama of the light pushing through. And I used long exposure to create emotion, a calm, peaceful feeling. I didn't just smooth out the water because I saw it in a tutorial. I also realised I'd rather take fewer photos, but spend time, maybe even years, finding a composition that's genuinely mine. I don't just shoot the obvious angle. Now when I go out with a camera, I'm not wandering around aimlessly hoping something good appears. I'm actively looking for those elements. I'm shooting with intention. And that's how you develop a consistent body of work. Not by trying to copy somebody else's style, but by recognising what you naturally value and then deliberately seeking it out. There's a couple of things to avoid as you do this. First, don't force it. If you've been copying other people's photos for years, your cognitive camera might initially just click on the same popular compositions. That's fine, keep going. But eventually you'll start to notice what you actually respond to, not just what you think you should respond to. Secondly, don't judge what you're drawn to. Maybe you love moody atmospheric scenes while everyone else is shooting bright and colourful. But that's your voice, so trust it. And finally, don't worry whether anyone else will like it. The most interesting photographers aren't the ones following the trends. They're the ones creating work that's distinctively theirs. So here's your challenge. This week, use your cognitive camera everywhere you go. Click whenever something catches your attention. And don't even bring your real camera if you don't want to. Just observe. At the end of the week, write down what patterns you noticed. What were you consistently clicking on? That's your starting point. That's your photographic voice beginning to reveal itself. And next time you pick up your camera, instead of asking what would look good on Instagram, ask what am I naturally drawn to here? And that's the difference between copying and creating. So let me summarise the key points for you. Your photographic voice isn't something you find, it's something you recognise by paying attention to what makes you pause. Use the cognitive camera exercise to train your eye and discover what you naturally value. Once you know what you're drawn to, shoot with intention rather than just hoping something good appears. And don't forget to grab that free ebook, Seeing Like a Pro Photographer. There's a link in the description. It'll help you capture what you're seeing with real impact. In the meantime, go start clicking that cognitive camera, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.